Welcome back to another episode of the Crap Mike Buys. Here we are, 2004 Polaris Sportsman 4x4. I know almost nothing about it, but we're going to try to get it up and running. I bought it for $1,500 here in Canada. I know probably seems excessive to my American viewers because when I check Marketplace down in the States, this is probably worth 50 bucks. Up here, we are overinflated on pricing, and it is what it is. Here's where we're at. I got the keys, got the ownership, and the seller said that it ran great, and they parked it about a year ago, and now it doesn't start. So he said for sure it's going to need a battery, probably carb. We do know the winch worked because I used that to get it in the truck, which is no problem. I don't know a lot about these other than that it's got on-demand all-wheel drive right there, which is kind of cool. I don't know how many miles it's got or anything like that. So it's got some of this. Oh, that's for the winch, I guess. But let me get set up. We'll get the seat off and a jumper and see if we can get it to fire up on spray. Okay, here we are, fast forwarding a day. And there's been a few developments with the quad. So for one, got the seat off, and clearly there was no battery in there. So I ended up taking the air box out, and basically I was trying to film, but I didn't because I'm an idiot. And I don't know, I got carried away, and I wanted to, we're going to continue on. I got a new battery here. I put gas in the tank. But anyway, I pulled the cover off and connected it to my little car here, and I was able to get it to crank over, wouldn't sputter or anything like that. So I ended up cranking it over with my hand over the carb like this, which brought up all kinds of geez, it looked like varnish. It was just like dirty brown, brown gas. It was terrible. So I looked in the tank, which was basically empty. So I was like, well, that's a good thing. At least there's nothing in the tank. Very, very little at least. So I went ahead, gas station, got that, and filled that up and put that in. And then I decided I had a spark tester, which, by the way, let me show you in case you don't know what that is. This is a spark tester. You can get one on Amazon. Basically, you plug your spark plug wire onto that end as if it's a spark plug, and then you plug this end onto the actual spark plug. And then when you crank it over, this lights up orange. Little bit of an orange light in there showing you that we had spark. So I was like, okay, so we got spark. So then I was trying to use some quick start and shit in the carb, and I had it just the slightest little bit of a shit. So I was like, okay, so I got spark, and even spraying shit down there, it wasn't going. So I pulled out this spark plug. There's actually a twin cylinder, so this spark plug is easier to get at than the other one, I guess. So I pulled this spark plug out, and it was all gross. And so I just used a little sandpaper, cleaned it up, put it back in, and the bike fired up. It was running pretty good, but it had nasty black smoke coming out the back, which wouldn't surprise me from the the varnish in the gas tank. But that catches us up to speed on where we're at. We're going to continue now. We're going to go ahead, put the battery in, and then we're going to try to test fire it. But we still got other stuff we got to do. We're going to have to check for the coolant. We got the other spark plug to remove and clean. I did try to buy new spark plugs today. I went to 2 Canadian Tires, but neither of them had the proper spark plugs. He had some, I don't know, Q brand or some shit like that, but I was like, you know what? For $5, I'll just order the proper NKG on Amazon and get it in a couple of days. But that's it. So let me, for real, get the camera set up this time. And I'm glad I came clean with you guys, because I could have faked that shit and did a fake, let's see if it starts. But my conscience wouldn't sit well with me with that. So I'd rather just explain to you what I did. I screwed up. I shouldn't have started fucking around until I, set the camera up. But I was too lazy to find my tripod, but now I got it. So let's continue. Okay, tripod set up, and basically I got a battery here. Let me grab it out. It was $90 for a battery. And fuck, see, the problem is that the wires are not going to reach the battery. I don't know if somebody fucked around or what, but because I'm using the battery that this quad calls for. First of all, it seems small to me, like it's got such a big spot. And I already had a motorcycle battery that I tried to put in here, and I was like, fuck, the wires won't reach. And sure enough, this one's going to be the same problem. I think that somebody's changed the wires, so I'm going to have to come up with a solution for that, because yeah, I can't reverse it, obviously, because that's putting the negative and the positive on the wrong side. But not only that, like, these wires don't even reach. So, alright. Well, I'm going to have to get some wire to figure that out. The ground will work, so that's good. And then we'll have to just jumper it for now. Let's see if they gave me any bolts for this. They did. Yeah, fuck, that's unfortunate. But it does, so I said the battery seems small. It actually fits down inside. There's a little box like inside there. So I'm guessing maybe it's right. It's just not ideal. But we'll get the ground wire on anyway. That's a start. And then, you fucker. It's easier to put these in up here maybe. Oh, that's probably going in the wrong way. Sticking it in the hole wrong. And that one I don't need to bother with. And yeah, that just reaches, not with a whole lot of comfort room, but so this one's got a 2-wire. And that one. So I didn't put any insurance or anything on this bike yet, because I want to make sure it actually is going to run properly before I bother. Let me get a screwdriver. Alright, got me a screwdriver, and not the drink, the boring kind. I don't know how well that's gonna go in there. So it's possible he had a much bigger battery in here before or something. I don't know if I'm getting on there. I don't know. I'll have to switch sides. I'm gonna have to pause you guys. I'll get disconnected and I'll be back. Okay, so after a bunch of like screwing around and stuff, I was able to move a jumble of wires over here and bring them up by unbolting this and bring them up to get them in position. I got that on there. So now, let's see if it will just start. Probably not, but wow. That actually went better than I thought. I thought for sure I was going to have to fight it to get it to go again. Wow. I didn't even know it has a gear indicator here. So that's good. There's a button here. Cool. Well, and it's not even smoking today. Oh yeah. Very good. All right, let me see what we're doing next. Okay, so off camera there, I was able to drive the quad up and down my driveway a couple of times. And it did good. Didn't stall out or anything like that. So it seems like it is getting to run a bit smoother now. I actually went in and sat and watched some YouTube for a bit, had a beer. And then I decided that we're going to tackle... It seems to access the radiator and shit, you got to take this off. I don't even know. I didn't watch a video on that, so I probably should have. But I was just like, whatever. Let's do it. So half of these bolts, there's 4 of them on here. Half are like Allen key head screws. And then there's like 1 10 mil and one like 1/2 inch. So at some point this was off and some of the hardware got lost or swapped out or for some reason. But that's okay. I don't care. I do not, for for $1,500, expect this thing to be perfect. I just want to hopefully be able to get out and hit some trails. And for those of you who don't know, I used to have a Big Bear 350, and it was a decent running quad. But I ended up breaking the drive shaft on a ride. Like, the drive shaft fell out for the front wheel drive. Anyway, I had to go and I searched and I found it in the mud after a bunch of searching, and ultimately it was a good quad. But oh, that does just come off real easy. Okay. I don't know if that's going to be good enough or I need this off now. But anyway, it was a good quad, but it didn't handle as well as I wanted it to for going in the mud, for like deep mud. And you couldn't really, I guess, put big wheels on it. I was talking to a guy in this ATV club I was signed up with, and he said that you couldn't really put the big mud tires on it because it wouldn't handle them very well. And so I was like, oh, okay, well that sucks. Sorry guys, I'm going to pop off this rad cover here. Shit. Not what I wanted to see. It looks empty. Let's get the flashlight going. Let's go turn the light on. Maybe I'm wrong, but oh, there's some in the bottom there. All right, well let me get some water. I don't think I have any antifreeze. I'm going to look around actually first, see if I got some antifreeze. If I do, we're going to put some antifreeze in. Okay, lucky day for me. I actually had some Prestone. Let's see if I can pour this with my left hand without pouring it all over. I don't have a ton in here. It's like maybe a quarter of the jug. Let's see how much it takes. Easy does it. I could have topped it up with water, but we are approaching winter here in Canada, and if you fill it with water, there's a good chance it's going to freeze. Okay, that's going to fart down. It does have an overflow jug here that doesn't, I don't think it's got anything in it. Doesn't look like it. So I might have to get a funnel and slap a little in there as well. And then I got to try to run it, get it up to temp and see if it leaks. So let me grab a funnel and see if I can do that. Okay, found my my funnel, and let's go ahead and top her off a little bit. I don't know if I can. Oh yeah, I can see it coming up there. Oops. Right to the max. Yep. Okay. And then let's go ahead and put this little green cap that was in here back in. And then this cover, and then we're going to go ahead and check the oil. I haven't checked the oil yet, so I'm sitting here running it and I don't even know if it has oil. So that probably would have been a smart idea to check at the very beginning. So if you find yourself doing one of these, probably start with that. That's probably like the very first thing I should have done. But it should be known, and I've said this in many videos, I am not a mechanic, and I'm just kind of mechanically inclined for what that's worth. So anything I say or do is just random bullshit. Okay, this has some kind of a mechanism. Okay, flip top. Please don't be milky. It is not milky, thank God. Okay, let me wipe this off. Okay, so I got it all cleaned off. We are good here. If you guys can see that. Sorry, I got shaky hands. Let's put it back in. I think that's all the way in there. And let's see where we're at. Oh, it's got oil all over it, so I'm guessing it's got oil. Fuck, it's so hard sometimes, like, because you see how it's only at the very bottom of the dipstick? But, like, the whole dipstick's wet, so I don't know. Maybe it needs more. Obviously, I got to do an actual oil change. I think it's good. I think, like, you can see the oil up on top there if I can get it to zoom in. But I'm going to do an oil change. I just wanted to make sure that it was, like, at a safe level. Okay, that's cool that that locks in like that. I was wanting to take this off. I don't really know how. Yeah, well, I'm sure it's quite simple. It's probably just a bunch of bolts, like, the looks of it. But I suppose I should watch a video on that first, because that, I believe, is a belt drive. I'm not even 100% sure because I haven't watched any videos, but I think it's a belt drive. And then, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let this thing warm up to temp now and see if I get leaks. Okay, as we got it running, the fan's engaged, everything seems like it's good. We're going to go ahead and slap some brake fluid in here. See if we can get these brakes working. It didn't take very much. The reservoir was empty, but probably got to be blood, but I can see it bubbling. So I might be able to play with this a bit and get a bit of pressure without fully bleeding them. That fluid's going down. Yeah, because it does help having brakes when you're ATVing. A lot of air in the line. I do have a brake bleeder system. If I have to, I can use that little pump thing. Anyway, I'll keep working on that. Okay, I ended up moving on to the front lever, and I didn't record it, but whatever. It's a couple of screws, but actually one of the screws snapped off inside. As you can see, it's completely rusted, so not much I can do about that. it can be definitely drilled out and then just use like a metal screw or something in there. But this is in pretty poor condition. I don't think this is gonna work out. This had a front thing on it. It said front and an arrow. It was actually pointing towards the back. So I don't know if that matters, but that's what's up. That's what it was doing. So we'll go ahead and put some brake fluid in it anyway, because it's not like we're gonna screw it up, right? And I would imagine that nothing is going to do anything with how gummed up that was. So I'll probably have to order a new brake lever online. But I'll have to do a bit of trial run on the quad to make sure it's actually working good first before I invest any real money. Like, you know, $100 on a battery was kind of much actually before knowing if it's actually going to even work proper. But there is the potential that this lever will work. If it sits long enough, you know what I mean, and the fluid can, because I see a little something happening there. I don't know. Anyway, so I think what I'll do is I'm going to just call that a video, and the reason is because obviously it's going to need new brakes, but if I got to order parts and shit, you know, I'll pop them off, have a look at the pads, whatever. But at least I can show you that you can buy a piece of shit and get it running to make it less of a piece of shit. So that's pretty good. I can turn the flashlight off so I can get a better view here. Yeah, so that's exciting. Hopefully I can get it going good and everything like that, and then do some more ATV videos. But that'll wrap it up. I know it's nothing fancy. I know a lot of people go out and buy a brand new one and shit. But I'm just going to beat the hell out of it anyway, so I'm not too worried about getting a fancy new one. This is good enough for me if I can get it going good. When I say get it going good, I mean, like, yeah, when I just started it up, let's see. That's good enough. And right now the air box is off, so it's still a little noisy. But I mean, yeah, hell, fire's up, so can't complain about that. It seems to go into high, low, and when I was testing it in the driveway, I've got some wooden shit there, so I put it in all-wheel drive, and I was able to climb up, like, whatever it is, 3 feet up a pile of wood and shit I got. So I think the 4x4 is working, but we'll find out when I get out on the trail. So that'll wrap it up, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed another one of my nonsense videos, and I'll be back with more of them, because that's what I do.